Right on. So as you can see over there, there's the Sky Tree and the Asahi building in the Asakusa Station from the Asakusa Line. Up to the right, there's the famous Sensoji giant lantern temple. Down there you got Bandai, the creators of Gundam. And so there you go, this is the giant lantern temple, Sensoji. It's actually a giant Jandal temple. If you look closely on the inside side, you'll see the giant flip-flops or jandals or whatever you want to call them. So here we are, we're walking down this way. It's the opposite side of the river. We've got the Sumida River behind us, and we're walking down towards UENO. Now, it's a real nice walk, really. It's quite quiet. There are a few stations along the way. If you do have time to walk instead of catching a train, it is quite enjoyable. And there is quite a lot, as you'll see. There's some interesting temples, shrines, shops that sell some interesting shrine and temple related products and funeral things, some traditional knickknacks and all that, and some pottery stores and some bookstores and a lot of restaurants. So we'll give you a bit of a walk through and give you a bit of a rundown on what there is around. So to the right is the main part of Asakusa. So you could come through from further down that way if you like. Depends where you are, and it's all easy. You just, when you hit this road, you just follow this road all the way down. So it's really simple. And so here you go. You got free Wi-Fi at these phone boxes. They ask you to enter a email. You don't have to enter your own email. Here you go, some nice little cozy cafe. So a few of these around. And so yeah, for the Wi-Fi, you don't have to enter your own email. You can just enter some random email. You don't have to open up your inbox and do all that type of stuff. So along here you'll see the vending machines are a bit cheaper than in the main part of Asakusa. And now is winter time, but all year round you can get hot and cold drinks from your vending machines. All types of other things as well, as I'm sure you'd be well aware. And so yeah. Now, on the other side of the road, there are some plaques that talk about the history of this area. About because of course this is within the walls of Edo, ancient Edo, and this area, as the plaque was saying, was famous for paper making, and so there's a bit of history there. Now, size area, I don't know if you know size area or not, but it's pretty good. It's kind of like our Japanese style Italian food. So it's like Italian, so pastas and all that sort of stuff. And price is really, really good. It's like a family restaurant. And you can get like like from kind of like $3 on, and they do all sorts of good stuff depending on whatever you like. All sorts of salads and all your typical Italian types of stuff. Alright, so down this way here is quite a typical way that people would walk through from Asakusa in order to get up here. It's kind of the end of that road where the Sensoji temple is. If you follow that road, where the main big lantern is, you'll arrive at this street, and you can follow this up to where we are now, and along to UENO, or if there's anything else that you see on this video you want to check out. And yeah, so here we go. We got a metro station over here. Bit of strong winds, so some bikes blown over. So this here is the Ginza Line. So this is one of the stops in between UENO and Asakusa on the Ginza Line. There's a lot of convenience stores and restaurants and anything you're going to need along the way. And tucked in on the in-between streets there are some parks and such. So here's some like Buddhist supply shop. There's a bit of that type of stuff around here on the street. It's quite interesting. You don't really see that type of stuff in the main commercial parts. They're kind of in between the stations. So that's one of the bonuses of walking between the stations. It's not a massive walk. It could be 20 minutes or even less to walk from one station to the other, and in between the stations you will see a lot of smaller shops. Maybe the rent is cheaper, and so that they can survive easier away from the train stations. And I think generally prices and things actually tend to be cheaper as well. Restaurants, cafes and all that, you'll find some pretty cool more smaller businesses and some interesting things you won't see in the main main hubs, in the main parts of each around the stations. Things tend to get a bit more monopolized. And I wonder what's with the police cars over here. I see they leave the lights on. I don't know if it's maybe it's just something. Here you go. So here's one of the temples or shrines that's on the way through. It's quite a massive one, that one. I read the plaque on the outside of that. It said something to do with the history of has some histories related to Koreans in Japan, for like historically. This is quite cool over here. You got your this is a street over here which is known for kind of cooking supplies and like oven trays and all your kitchen wares. So here you go, cops with their light on. So I think maybe they leave the light on when they're moving for safety and so people get out of the way. Because I seem to see them with the lights flashing pretty much consistently. If the car's moving, the lights are on. So yeah, so here we go. This area here, it's quite interesting. It's worth a walk down and check that out. I will make a video of this area here because it does have some interesting history, mythological history, and there's some interesting sights to be seen down there, and it is quite cool. It's quite old school. The vibe's quite old school. Alright, so as you can see, it's pretty windy. And another thing to look out for is the cyclists in Japan. They tend to ride on the footpath. Now this street, they do have a kind of lane on the footpath, which is marked out. As you can see, it's on the right hand side right now, and that's meant to be for cyclists. But cyclists the Japanese tend to be very polite and considerate of others. Sometimes cyclists can be not so, and a little bit reckless. But so just keep an eye out if you got headphones or whatever. Just be aware. And because there are a lot of cyclists in Japan, and Tokyo is a very good place for cycling, as it is very flat. Unlike my hometown, where it's very hilly, a volcanic city where the hills, it's all up and down and up and down, and it's good. But Tokyo is really good makes it easy. If it's flat, it's easy, right? And very honest place as well. So not a lot of or that I know, there's not a lot of bike thefts and stuff. So here you go, some like supplies, traditional supplies. So that type of stuff you're not really going to be seeing all over the place. Now over here you got a family restaurant, Jonathan's, and more importantly, Book Off, which is a second-hand bookstore. They got a massive selection of comics, if you like manga. 100% Japanese though, last time I checked. But still cool if you're into that type of thing. And Book Off, they have some other kind of part of their franchise. They've got some other types of shops. Like there's one called, I think it's called Hobby Off, and it's kind of check out this old school taxi. It's good to see those around. Book Off. They also have Hobby Off, which is kind of people, they make models and all that type of stuff, and figurines, like action figurines and all that type of stuff, and it's all second hand, so you can pick up a great deal. Pretty amazing what you can get up there. Some real cool stuff. It's good even just to go have a look and check it out, because it's impressive, the character design. So here's one of the it's like a funeral shop, and it's pretty awesome. Pagoda, looks like it's gold plated or something. Pretty epic. So there's some some supplies, traditional funeral. From what I hear, it's the funeral shops. So here we go. That's quite cool. These stickers, you might see them around. They are sort of warning to troublemakers that you're being watched. Yep. So kind of just a reminder to behave. Yeah. So some cool signage and all that type of jazz around here. Some cool, you just see some cool stuff. And that's the good thing about it. It's an interesting walk, and you'll see some different things. It's not all just big franchise and overpopulated. It's when you get out here, it's between the stations there's kind of less people away from the crowds, and quite cool to see. Some different sites and all that, and you never know what you're going to come across. And so we're kind of halfway through now, and so it didn't take long, and yeah, interesting stuff all over the place. So yeah, you'll see these old school temple and shrine roofs. Man, I love these. So cool. Great design. And there's quite a few remaining, even though most of Tokyo was burnt down during the Great Fires and in the wartime. I'm not too sure if they're the original roofs. Could be. Or if they've been remade. But really, really nice to see. I love those roofs. So there you go. Another Ginza Line station. So that's the second. So we've already walked between come across 2 Ginza Line stations, so the next one will be UENO. And so yeah, on this side of the road is heading towards Shibuya and UENO, and on the other side of the road over there you got if you're heading to Asakusa. So as a general thing, that's kind of how it is in Tokyo. So one side of the road heading one direction, and on the other side of the road is the train heading the other way. So keep that in mind, might save you a bit of time. So yeah, heaps of bit of Western food and Starbucks and McDonald's and those big franchises around. But as a wise man said, if you're in Japan, you're probably better to eat something local. And even if you want something fast, I'd recommend. Probably wouldn't recommend what we have on the left here. Oh, you could. It's kind of cheap, nasty. Yoshinoya. You can give it a go if you want. But yeah, I suppose that's like a Japanese fast don. Don is just anything on rice, and yeah, real cheap. It's like maybe from $3, $4, going up, and maybe as much rice as you need as well. So you can have like rice refills or whatever, if I remember correctly. But I haven't had that for maybe 5 years. Now here's a really interesting part of the walkthrough. I love this massive gate, huge, epic, and I love that. So if you just follow it through, here we go. Check out this place. Now this is the type of thing you're gonna come across when you're walking between the stations, because these things are generally not right around the stations, so extra bonus. So yeah, rinsing is traditionally what they do when they enter. It's like a symbolic purification, cleanliness type of thing. And as we saw, the birds drinking from that water as well. So they ring the bell and make a prayer. And yeah, through here, It's quite interesting. I like these red gates. Very beautiful. These ones, they seem to be possibly made of metal. A bit different. And these ones, these are foxes. So, yeah, really interesting. So it's nice to have a walk around in these places because they're nice and quiet, very peaceful, and full of interesting visuals. And pigeons. So yeah, we'll keep on our way. Nice little stop off on your way if you're not in a rush. And yeah, so that's one thing I like about Tokyo, is it's the ancient world alongside the modern world. I love that. Massive. I love this. So nice. Okay, so now we're almost in UENO, so we're heading down this way, and you can see the end of the road pretty much. So we're going to keep on, and so this is late afternoon. So if you do this route earlier in the day, you can be in the sunshine. So excuse the shadows, the darkness, but it is what it is. Some wintertime Tokyo explorations, and that's what we love. So you can join us here at this channel for more walk-arounds. I can give you some tips, share what I know, and feel free to add your 5 cents in the comments. Throw us some questions and tips and tricks and what you like and all that. And yeah, subscribe and all that for more. But we're not gone just yet. We're still on through. There you go, free Wi-Fi. So yeah, if you ever need free Wi-Fi, maybe those phone boxes are a bit easier than and more reliable. I don't think locals really use those. So it's kind of for tourists possibly. A lot of the other Wi-Fi around the place, there might be heaps of people using them, and sometimes it's really hard even to do anything when there's that many people using it. So those phone boxes are actually really good. I recommend them. And I just enter a random fake email, and that's how I use it personally. But so here we go. So there's UENO, the overpasses. Yeah, so across here, I should be walking across at the lights there, but I'm a rebel. So yeah, straight through that's UENO. And here you go, you got Family Mart and you got Kinko's, If you don't know what it is, just a photocopy shop. But all convenience stores seem to have photocopiers. But if you want to be hands-free, get someone else to do it for you, you can pop into Kinko's and they'll do it for you. So yeah, just gonna wait here for the light to go for the pedestrians. And yeah, there we have it. So when you cross over here, you got heaps of food places. $10. Now that's something. As I said before, don is anything on rice, so on top of rice. And 10, so 10 don, 10 is short for tempura. It's tempura. If you don't know what it is, it's fish and chips. No, just joking. It's tempura is like fried, deep fried. Depends what you choose, but it could be usually seafood. Being Japan, traditional Japanese food is seafood and vegetables, and that's how it was for a long time. Japan was pretty much vegetarian, other than fish, and everyone knows Japan for its fish. So here we go. Enough tempura. Here we go. We're at UENO Station, and so you can keep on walking up through the outside up that way, or you can come into the station, or you can go over those walking bridges up there, which go all over the places, so you don't have to wait for the traffic. But we're gonna pop through the UENO Station because it's kind of the most direct. And if you need to use the bathroom, the man's room, the ladies' room, or whatever, if you need to top up your Pasmo or Suica, that's the train cards, you can do that here on your left. And so this is a major train station. Not as hectic as some of the other ones, but as you can see, it's pretty hectic. And there are Shinkansen bullet trains that depart from here and arrive here. And there is the subway and the overground, the JR. So in Japan you got your subway, or in Tokyo you got your subway, and then you've got your JR, which is the above ground trains. So we're just going to follow this guy through here. And so yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in here. It's like a shopping mall. I suppose it might have been faster to just walk around the outside, but it is winter, and winter time, it's a bit warmer in the on the inside, and you know this. So here we go through here. So if you go straight through, you've got here we go. See, so this is like the main intersection that kind of crosses over. So behind this building here is the park. There's restaurants and a convenience store, and behind is UENO Park. Now up here, this is a little insider tip, you can catch an escalator up into the park. Now not everyone knows that, and there's a really good viewing platform from up the top. So from the viewing platform you can see these trains, and you can it's a really good spot for photographers. Here it is. So check this out. There's a photographer here already. So you're like overlooking the intersection. Down there you've got that's like the kind of market street underneath the train line. You've got all types of there's a bit of a fish market, and then there's all sorts of other heaps of sneaker places, heaps of shoe shops and all that. And as I was saying before, Book Off, they have some of their other shops. So they've got Hobby Off, and I think they got another one that's called Hard Off, which is an unfortunate name, but that's got like musical supplies and stuff. So here you got the JR above ground trains going by, and yeah, it's a pretty cool spot to kind of take some photos looking down the line. And yeah, all sorts of trains coming through here. And this is the place to take those photos. You can go up higher, which is UENO Park is just up one level higher, or 2 levels higher. But there's a big barrier, and you can't really take photos over the barrier. Maybe you could climb up on something, but I think, to my knowledge, this is the best spot for taking photos of the train line. So yeah, heaps of trains going by. So that the green JR one, that's that'll take you to Harajuku. And pretty awesome, the amount of trains coming through here. Amazing how punctual and on time they are, so systematic. I recall the Japanese trains made international news when there was I think a 30-second train delay, and it made the newspapers. It's a big deal. Punctuality is a big deal in Japan. If someone says 4 o'clock, they mean 4 o'clock, not 4 o'clock in 30 seconds. Yeah. So maybe that's enough of all of this train hoo-ha. So this is the top of the UENO station. Beneath you've got Shinkansen, bullet trains. You got double-decker trains. So you got your Shinkansen bullet trains, which go faster than an airplane, or the speed of an airplane, and apparently they stop automatically if there's an earthquake. So here we're going up the escalator, and now we are in UENO Park. So yeah, that's the fastest way to get to UENO Park from the train station. And over here you got a bunch of people checking out the Last Samurai statue. No, that's not Tom Cruise. It's the Last Samurai and his dog. Now there are a few other dog statues, like the one in Shibuya. And this dog's quite big compared to a lot of the other dogs you'll see around in Tokyo, a lot of people have dogs the size of a cat. Maybe that's because people live in smaller places like apartments and such, and there's not a lot of space for the big ones. But this last samurai seems to have quite a decent sized dog. Respect. Yeah. So this is a bit of history from UENO. There was proper battles that went on right here. There was samurai. There's amazing samurai history here, and some real beautiful old trees and of course the architecture, the historic buildings, shrines, temples, and museums, and down this way there's a lake and there's a zoo and all that type of stuff. Quite a few museums in the UENO, all different types of museums, and real nice. As I said, that's one of the highlights of Japan. The modern world side by side with the ancient world.